Hey guys, this is a short version of a three-part video that I recorded a few days ago, and for some reason the first two parts of it were deleted. I am not sure if it's the AI or if I somehow deleted them by mistake, but I don't recall that I deleted them. Well, anyway, I don't have the same amount of patience that I did back then. So this time I will try to keep this as brief as possible. Well, the main point of the story is, while I do appreciate many Japanese products and their companies, big companies like Yamaha, Sony, Daiso, Suzuki, and whatnot, I would never go to Japan myself, much less to live there, because I believe that it's a horrible place to live. It's a type of hell, actually. That it's a very bad place to live in for reasons that I will discuss soon. Yeah. Oh, and I also had a short message in Japanese to the Japanese people. Konnichiwa, Nihonjin Ningen Tachi-san. Sunimase, demo. Shikata ga nai. Nihon kirai. Nihon wa jigoku. Jigoku kirai. Watashi wa tadashi. Watashi wa subarashi. Well, basically, oh, and Omae wa ii ningen tachi demo. Nihon wa jigoku. Jigoku kirai. Shikata ga nai. Basically, I was telling them that you're good people, but I hate Japan because Japan is hell, and I can't help it. Nobody likes to live in hell, therefore I hate Japan. Not their products, I hate Japan itself. Well, before I will tell you what is it that I hate so much about Japan, I will tell you, I would like actually this time to start with the positive things of what I appreciate of Japan's production. Japan's production I do appreciate. I hate Japan as a place. Well, they have some really good electronic companies, especially that make music equipment, like Yamaha or Korg or Onkyo although Yamaha is better, I think. And they have Sony, and they have car companies like Suzuki, and they have martial arts like karate, several styles of karate. They have judo. Um, I think that jiu-jitsu is also from Japan, and aikido. Many popular martial arts, and they have sword martial arts that I think is called kenpo or kendo or something like that, and they have the arts of the ninja and the samurai, and they have popular across the world entertaining manga and anime stories, some of which contain abusive and self-abusive parts, which cannot be helped really, because that's part of the unfortunate part of the Japanese culture, which I'm going to discuss with you soon. And the author, being Japanese, would naturally include some of those cultural traits into the story, but otherwise there are many Japanese manga and anime stories which are very entertaining. Movies not and TV series not so much, but there were some nice movies and TV series too. Well, more TV series than movies. I can't recall a good Japanese movie right now. And let's not forget Daiso, a very successful an international Japanese company, successful in many countries. And I even have several Daiso bowls and boxes in the kitchen, and they are very good. And I have a Yamaha digital receiver, and I like it very much. And Japan makes very good products, high quality products, and I also have a Korg digital piano. And I used to study karate as a child, and I would participate in both national and the international championships, and the leader of the organization, of the karate organization called WSKF, World Shotokan Karate Do Federation, his name was Sensei Hitoshi Kasuya. And I met him once in Turkey, and I was afraid to talk to him, but eventually I did, and he was nice to me, and we took a picture. And also later at a party he greeted me and shook my hand, and later when he visited Israel he also greeted me and shook my hand. And once I managed to contact him on the phone, and we had a pretty long phone conversation. I don't remember about what. He treated me so nicely, despite that he was this big leader of an international organization, and I was like a 12 or 13, maybe 15 years old child. And I think there was a time when I saw several Japanese people in suits in Israel, and we talked a bit, and they were pretty nice, but I am not 100% sure that they were Japanese. So overall, I do appreciate than Japanese people, and I do somewhat like their language, and in speech, not in writing, because I dislike absolutely the cumbersome Chinese writing. I see no reason why writing has to be so cumbersome. It poses no advantage in my eyes. It's difficult to learn, and for what reason? Why would it be so difficult for no reason? But I do appreciate how it sounds, and like I said, I like their products, and I like that they are respectful of each other, so often too respectful, like self-sacrificial, which is not something that I respect about their culture, because I don't like the self-sacrifice thing. Uh, this like self-humiliation, and like they would sometimes uh, sometimes go as far as get on the floor to ask someone for anything, whether it's forgiveness or a request. And the bowing too, I think that it's excessive, bowing all the time, or even sometimes actually. The bowing thing is a bit of excessive. I did it when I was a karate student, but in daily life I wouldn't do such a thing. I think it's excessive, lowering your head and stuff. So anyway, Japan makes great products, both in electronics and Daiso and the anime and manga and several TV shows, and they make good stuff. They contribute to the world. But Japan itself, from everything I know about it, I see it as a type of hell. Let's begin, and I will try to make it really this time as short as possible. It's located on geographically, or should I say geologically, the worst place on the planet. Out of the entire planet, Japan is the place where natural disasters are most likely to occur. Already makes it a very bad place to go to. Earthquakes, tsunamis, floods, volcanoes. This is all more likely to happen in Japan than in any other place in the world. And it affects them so much that it's already part of their culture, and they even make stories about it. There was a recent anime about earthquakes called Suzume, released maybe just 2 years or so, because they constantly suffer from natural disasters. That's the first thing. The next thing is that Japan is a rather small country uh, compared to some other countries in the world. Maybe not Israel, which is a tiny country, but it's still a rather small country, but it's very dense population wise. It's way overpopulated. There are people, crowds everywhere, train stations, streets, I am guessing shops too. There are masses of people wherever you go. And I dislike large crowds. I mean, unless it's a place where you'd naturally expect them, like a, I don't know, heavy metal concert where there's a big crowd of people. But constantly, every single day, when you go outside, a heavy crowd, insanely heavy crowds of people everywhere. It's insane, and I dislike it. I dislike overpopulation. I like when the population is balanced, like it's not too thin and it's not too thick, like it's normal. In Israel, I feel like it's balanced. I don't know about other countries, but in Japan, it's definitely not balanced. It's overpopulated, and I dislike it. Now, Uh, in addition to it being overpopulated, those people that you see there over every day and surrounded by a large portion of them are people who suffer on daily basis from overwork. The people in Japan are expected to dedicate their lives to the businesses that they work for and give as much as possible of themselves, work overtime without payment, and give as much as possible to the company because they're expected to be like nice that way. And they work like 15 hours a day, and then they also have to spend time traveling, and they hardly have any time to sleep, and sometimes because they don't sleep and overwork, they die from work. And sometimes they have so little time to sleep when they also have to travel that they sleep in some small capsules, and they have some pictures of anime girls inside that capsule, and also on the pillow which they would hug, so that anime girls would make them feel like they are not so lonely, because they don't have time for fucking social life because they work so hard. And it's so abusive, and it's part of their culture. It goes back like to ancient times, where people are expected to serve their country and their master with everything they got, even commit suicide, harakiri, if they fail their master, and they would also sacrifice their lives during World War II with the kamikaze airplanes. And the self abuse and self sacrifice is very deeply ingrained in the Japanese culture, which is a bad thing. Uh, and the people sometimes are so frustrated, they have to work so hard and they don't have time for anything else, but their financial situation doesn't allow for anything else, and that they commit suicide because they're helpless, while other people over there commit suicide for other reasons. Like, there was a documentary that I watched where there was this woman who had a family. She had a son and a husband, maybe more than one kid, and she wasn't particularly miserable. She just decided to end her own life because she saw no point to continue living. The suicide thing is popular in Japan, and Japanese people would often find reasons to sacrifice themselves or hurt themselves or even kill themselves for whatever reason it is they find. Like, it's not unpopular to see in a manga story that some guy would sacrifice his life for a woman, like he would die for her, and he would say something like, "Oh, finally, I did something useful with my life," and you see those kind of stuff very often in the Japanese stories, and the overwork thing, like some main character in a fighting type of anime or manga, like he would train so hard, he would train like 20 hours, and he would exhaust himself while someone else would watch with respect and impression, like, oh, he's such a hard worker. And those are self-abusive traits ingrained into the Japanese culture, which I dislike. And I admit, in 2019 and maybe a bit before that, I was affected by the self-abusive training in Japanese stories, and I I trained a lot more hours than I was supposed to, and it was self-abusive, and I never want to go back to that time, to 2019. It was possibly the worst year of my life. But the evil creature, it constantly tries to in any way remind me of things from that year, either treadmill usage or lower leg interest in women or self-submission towards women. was possibly the worst version of myself in my whole life, and the creature really it prefers that version above all our others, because the creature doesn't like me. The creature is evil, and I don't hate what is. But this video is not about the creature; it's about Japan. My point is, it's the worst geologically place on the planet, and it's overpopulated, and so many of those people are miserable, and you know that you're constantly surrounded by people who are miserable, who suffer, and and uh, and that no matter where you look, you see a person which is already crazy to be so overcrowded, even worse to be overcrowded by people who are miserable. So you know that every single person you look at has a miserable life, and is on the verge of suicide, is very sad. There would no way that I would like to live in such a place, and there are all sorts of Japanese customs that I don't like sitting on the floor, which I think it is primitive, is like a caveman primitive thing to do, because even a caveman would sit on a rock, and if you think I insult their culture, then I think that their culture insults life, because if there are better options like chair, why do something so primitive, like sitting on the floor and in the uncomfortable season position that they sit, that requires you to bend the knees to the full degrees, instead of like relaxing the joints like normal people in other countries, and that it's considered respectful towards others. But what's the deal with Japanese and this respect towards others, which is harmful towards yourself? It doesn't have to be that it doesn't have to be that way. And I dislike that they use pillows made of rice, and that they often sleep on the floor. And I don't know whether ramen over there is considered the main source of nutrition, but I very much hope that it's not, because it's not very nutritious. It's a liquid type of food, and what I think I don't remember everything, and my phone battery is dying. Um, oh, and eating with chopsticks, which is so primitive. I mean, chopsticks are sticks, and eating with sticks, it's another like a primitive human type of thing. I mean, we have modern tools, forks, spoons, knives. Why would you eat with sticks? No offense, but a caveman would eat with sticks. We have more modern solutions. Why not use them? There is no way that I would like to eat with sticks. And by the way, another Japanese invention popular across the world, which I forgot to mention, which is a positive thing: sushi. Everybody, well, normal people at least, love sushi. Sushi is a very good thing, but you don't have to travel to Japan to eat sushi. Maybe they have a better sushi. Maybe, I haven't tried, but Israeli sushi is also very good, and I suppose American too, although I haven't tried it. Uh, so sushi is great, but you don't have to travel to Japan to experience it. Nor do you have to experience it at all. It's just a luxury. Well, anyway, like I said, there are many stuff about Japan that I dislike. Uh, I'm not sure if I covered absolutely everything like in the previous videos, but I do I do respect what they make. I mean, their products, they have some really good products. And if sometime in the future I had some sort of a business relationship with them, then uh, I would treat them with respect, definitely, but I would not like to visit their country. I don't like it as a place. It's a place that's on the worst location on the planet, overcrowded. It's a place where people suffer on daily basis, and the workplaces are abusive, and the people are self-abusive. It's a place where people suffer. It's a type of hell. I don't want to go there, but I do respect their products.